As far as I'm concerned, the Toyota Corolla fell off. So if I think of where they started in 1966 and where they are now in 2024, I think I'll pick 1966. But that's just me, Motileke. Now I'm going to take you through the evolution of the Toyota Corolla. And at the end, I want you to pick which one you think was a banger and which one you think was a flop. In 1966, the first generation of the Toyota Corolla was released. And this car was just supposed to offer practicality, it was supposed to offer reliability, and it was supposed to be economical. This car was so successful in Japan that it went to the United States and it gained market share immediately because it was offering features that only the most expensive cars were given at that time. Normally, only the very expensive cars had ground-mounted transmission. But Toyota said, you get the ground-mounted transmission. Everybody immediately embraced it because they felt it was safer and they felt it was more economical. Second generation started in 1970. And guess what? Toyota found something that worked. So why change it? They just said, let's give people better interior. Let's give them a bigger car. Let's give them something that they'll say, oh, this car is an improvement of the last one. This time around, they had the 4-body style, they had the 2-body style, they had the 2-door station wagon, and they had a 2-door coupe. We went to third generation Toyota Corolla. That was in 1974, and this one lasted for 5 years. The third generation Toyota Corolla was streamlined. It was even more luxurious. They said, let's give these people a little bit of new perks, something nice, something that will make them enjoy this car. But also, at about that time, there was an oil crisis in the United States. And so they had to design a car that emitted lower carbons and was more economical. Imagine emitting lower carbon and being economical. Who wouldn't want this car? Everybody in the United States were saying, get one for me, get one for me. The fourth generation was in 1979. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I don't know what happened. Because we just went from that slant back design, sweet design, into this boxy looking car. I don't understand the reason for this box. They said it was supposed to be executive. In 2024, if you release this and say executive, everybody just look at you and be like, what are you doing, fam? And at that time, it was competing with the Ford Tempest and the Volkswagen Fox. And this was the last generation that came with a rear-wheel drive for subcompact car. By 1983, we went into the fifth generation. Me personally, if I tell you that I don't understand the fourth generation, then the fifth generation is even crazier. Because what was going on? What was going on in 1983? Toyota went from that box to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides for a Corolla. 5 sides. Because they saw Volkswagen Golf. They said, Volkswagen Golf is selling all of Europe. Why not do something that looks exactly like that? So they said, copy. Let's copy. It's not every time you copy, but they copied this one. And this car was the first car that Corolla released, or the first subcompact car that Corolla released that had a front wheel drive. Sixth generation. What happened in 1987? Because I'm looking at this car right now, like, see this car. If they gave you this car, will you drive it? No, me, let's be honest, you and I. If they gave you this car, will you drive this car? In my opinion, this car is not fine. And this car was nicknamed the First Lady in Nigeria. I want to know the beef that we had with the First Lady at that time in Nigeria that made them nickname this car the First Lady. First car that Corolla released that had a 16-valve cylinder engine. I mean, that was very good because it made the car faster and it made the car more economical. A lot of cab drivers use this car. And I think this was when we began to attach Corolla and cab driving. But by 1991, Corolla knew that design that we dropped in 1987 was bad. It was bad. So they came with this new one. And I'm not going to lie to you. Even though I said the design was going down as the years went by, I think this one was like some sort of redemption. I think it was sweet. At that time, Toyota was planning on introducing Lexus. So they took bits and pieces of Lexus. They just took a cue from here, a cue from there, and they added it to this Corolla. And this Corolla was a nice looking Corolla. In the 8th generation, in 1995, Corolla just stuck with this. I mean, if you find something that works, and something that works well, something that people were really interested in, people were crazed for, you just stick with it. It's a winning formula. Who changes a winning formula? It's like having a tactic that works all season. Then at the final, you now say, oh, I'm not using that tactic. You will fail. So Corolla did not want to fail. The only thing that changed in the 8th generation was the engine, because they converted from iron engines to full aluminum units. Now, 2000 is the year I think you and I can relate with. Not maybe some people can relate with the older one, but me and anybody that's within my age group can relate with the 2000 because that's the famous Uber Corolla. Personally, I don't really like this car, if I'm being honest. But then I can't hate it either because this car was the benchmark for reliability, the benchmark for efficiency. It was a car that worked. And I think this car has had 3 phases. There was a variant of this car that was used as official car. Banks, insurance companies, everybody just wanted this car because it was reliable and maintenance was not through the roof. Then the next phase was the one when everybody was just buying. It was a compact family car. You had the small size family. Everybody can get in this Corolla. You enjoy your ride. If you are going from Lagos to Ibadan, if you are going from Lagos to Nasarawa, this Corolla will carry you. Then there's the third phase, the one where we are right now. Are you my Uber? Are you my Uber? If you park this car in Lagos or the street, somebody will randomly open your door and say, "Are you my ride? Are you the one I'm waiting for?" The next generation was the 10th generation Toyota Corolla. This was 2006, 2012. If you look at this car has some resemblance with the Toyota Camry muzzle. Like it just looks like a lower version, like something a little bit lower than the muzzle. And when the office people said that, "Oh, we're not using the last generation again for our official car," they came to this one. In 2013, Toyota came to the 11th generation Corolla. I don't think there was much difference between the 11th and the 10th generation. But this time around, this car was very big. Like this was the biggest Corolla that Toyota had ever made. And it came with CVT transmission. Like this one was more economical, was more efficient. Instead of the regular gear, it used the belt. So it just made sense that Toyota kept their customer base. Exactly find this car so interesting or so exciting or anything. But then if you are somebody that just wants to drive a car, wants to enjoy a functional car, a car that works, a car that gives you the value for your money, then the 2013 to 2019 Corolla was splendid. Like I have to give them that. But design wise, please take me back to second generation. Then the generation that we are in is the 12th generation Toyota Corolla. 2018 to present. I think sometime around 2017, Corolla realized that our cars are functional, but we still need to give people something extra. Because these days, you see the designs of different car brands. You see the Kias, you see the Hyundais, you see even American cars that have always been rigid. In as much as a lot of people would still want to drive the Corolla. Nobody wants to drive an old looking Corolla or an old fashioned Corolla. We want something fancy. I think this is really good for the Corolla, the fact that they are trying to give their customers more, considering the prices of this car at this time and when you compare to other brands that are in the same category. This is very, very nice. So now that I've given you generation 1 all the way to generation 12, I want you to tell me, do you agree with me that second generation was the banger, or do you think somewhere in between you have a better choice or you have better taste? Because I think my taste is top of the line actually. Do you think you have a better taste? If you do, tell me your favorite generation in the comments. And don't just tell me your favorite generation. Tell me why it's your favorite generation. It has to make sense because me, personally, I think I've convinced you that the second generation Toyota Corolla was the best. My name is Motileke and this is Truth for Drive.